Sai Ram. The 24th of April 2011 saw unprecedented crowds gather in the holy hamlet of Puttaparthi. It is estimated that more than 500,000 people, 500,000 people gathered at Puttaparthi to pay their final respects to the physical frame of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the avatar of the age. Our dear Swami chose to take Mahasamadhi on the 24th of April, and after that for 3 full days the body was kept in state so that everybody could pay their final respects. Later on the body was buried with all state honors, the highest honor that a country can accord, including draping the Indian flag around. One among these visitors was also Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of the country in 2010. Now, the Prime Minister's visit is accompanied by huge security and a lot of protocol. All of that, most of it in fact, was done away with, and though this was an event of great interest for the press, there is something that the press also was not aware of. The fact that Dr. Manmohan Singh had come there as the Prime Minister, of course, but he had come there more as an admirer, a follower and devotee of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And that is the reason most of the protocol and other paraphernalia associated with the Prime Minister's visit were missing during this. It was like a child running to the Divine Parent, a devotee running to the beloved Lord. Now you will ask me, how do I know this? Well, I know this based on the deep observations that I was privileged to make on the 22nd of November 2010. On that day, the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, was at Puttaparthi as the chief guest for the 29th Convocation of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. And as is his nature, on that day also, he spoke eloquently, not through his words alone, more so through his actions that prove beyond doubt his loyalty, his love, his devotion, his faith and his conviction in the divinity of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And that is so inspiring because it teaches us a very important lesson. As I said, Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of the country, had come to Prashantinilayam Puttaparthi on the 22nd November 2010 in the capacity of the chief guest for the 29th Convocation of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. But this was not his first time coming to Prashantinilayam or even being the chief guest for the Convocation. Because back in 1995, on the 22nd November again, during the Convocation, it was Dr. Manmohan Singh, back then as the Finance Minister of India, who had come as the chief guest. In fact, the Prime Minister in his speech on 22nd November 2010 alluded as to what a dramatic change he was seeing in Puttaparthi since his visit as the chief guest for the Convocation back in 1995. In hindsight, when I look back, 2010, for the Ladies' Day on the 19th of November, the chief guest was the President of India, Ms. Pratibha Patil. And on the 22nd, the Prime Minister of India, the two most important people of the nation of Bharat, Prime Minister and President, both came for Bhagwan's 85th birthday celebrations in the November of 2010. Looking back, you can only imagine the immense significance that on the last birthday of the avatar on the earth, in the last year, last few months, Swami chose to bless the representatives of the people and the first citizen of the nation. Speaking as the chief guest during the Convocation in 1995, Dr. Manmohan Singh expressed his joy and delight at getting this opportunity to be in the presence of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. In fact, I quote what he said, "In our own time, Bhagwan Baba, with his emphasis on dharma, right moral conduct and the fundamental unity of human relationships, is preparing humankind for the new universal civilization of love and brotherhood. The lamp that Bhagwan is lighting is no ordinary lamp. I am confident that the light it emits is powerful enough to reach every nook and corner of the world." His speech during the convocation in 2010 as well was inspiring and motivating. But of course, being the Prime Minister of the country, his speech would have been scripted to ensure that it's politically correct, and various other factors go in preparation of the speech. This much can be said, that Dr. Manmohan Singh could not speak freely as a devotee of Bhagawan Baba, as freely as he had spoken possibly in 1995. He had to stick to the script. But then, when it came to a crucial point, the Prime Minister did not stick to the script at all. That took everyone by surprise and some even by shock. What was it? Well, you see, for the first time in the history of the convocations, I think there was no scheduled discourse by Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Yes, a painful statement, but it was like that because Swami in a physical sense wasn't keeping good health, and in the whole of 2010, Swami had never delivered a divine discourse at all. And there was only one statement that Bhagawan would be speaking, which is declaring the convocation open. And so, on the convocation day, after the chief guest, that is Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister's speech, there was the band that played the national anthem, the Indian national anthem. After the national anthem, the convocation was deemed complete and everybody could disperse. Now, with the Prime Minister around, the protocol is very, very strict. Everything, when he has arrived to Puttaparthi, the airspace has been cleared, his plane is waiting for him at the airport, the roads have been barricaded, blocked, there's the highest level of security there. All these are in place and they all work in clockwork precision. They may be late by a few seconds and minutes, but not more than that. And therefore, now it was time for the Prime Minister to leave. But then, Swami invited Dr. Manmohan Singh into the interview room for an interview. And the devotee that he is, he gladly obliged. Not only he took along his entire family, and the interview went on for 10-15 minutes. You see, there is so much security around the Prime Minister. How is it that I got the opportunity to be so close taking photographs? That is a wonderful story in itself. On the 20th of November, that is 2 days before the convocation, as Swami sat on the dais, Swami looked towards me and beckoned to me. When I went to him, he said, "The Prime Minister is coming day after tomorrow." Then Swami said, "Tell all the Pillalu meaning children, tell all the children to be ready, to be dressed well, because the Prime Minister is coming." Now, I didn't understand what did Swami mean by me having to tell all the children. So I asked him, "Swami, should we announce?" Swami said, yes, you announce." So I said, "Swami, should we get the mics outside and I should announce?" Swami said, no, not on the mics, don't announce, you tell everybody. On the face of it, for all practical purposes for the world, it appears as if Swami is giving so much importance to the Prime Minister. Yes, it is true. Swami always gave respect, regard and due attention to the position that a person held. But this, I personally feel in retrospect, is Swami recognizing the devotion of a true devotee. As Swami said, I went to all the hostels and spoke to all the students, telling them that they need to dress up well and be ready, geared up to welcome the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. And then I told Swami, whoever might come, Swami, Prime Minister, President, all of us have come here, including them, to see you, Swami. You are the most important person of all our lives. Swami seemed to become a little bit emotional. And then I said, "Swami, all of us have only one prayer." Swami asked, "What?" I said, "Swami, please, we want to see your body in the best of health. That is all we want, Swami. That is all the prayer that you need to grant us." At this point, Swami seemed to choke with emotion and he quickly changed the topic. That's what I felt at that time. Because he said, "When the Prime Minister comes, what are you wearing? What dress are you wearing?" I said, "Swami, I have got a new safari suit stitched." That was what I had got stitched for the birthday. But I just said, "Swami, I can wear that for the convocation." Swami said, No, wear a suit, a pant and a proper tie." Now, I was very surprised because that is not the recommended uniform in Swami's presence. But since Swami said, I agreed to it and I quickly wore that dress. I understood the significance of Swami's words. They were not casual words in order to change the topic. On that day, the security was so high, none of the photographers were being allowed near the main area, the event area, because the Prime Minister was coming. The only photographer who was romping around was the Prime Minister's personal photographer, and he was dressed exactly the same as me in a navy blue safari suit with a tie. And so when I went there, the security people of the Prime Minister assumed that I was Swami's official photographer. Unofficially, Swami had given me the chance to be his photographer, but they assumed I was the official photographer, and that is how I had managed to get into the security cordon. So that is the reason, that is the way I managed to go near the interview room, take these pictures, and most importantly, got a chance to witness this beautiful conversation between the Lord and the devotee. After the interview, everybody, the security people were all very jittery because it had already been delayed enough and the Prime Minister had to leave. Swami said, when I think of this one day, I get very emotional. Swami told the Prime Minister, "You leave now. I have to go and speak to my children. They are waiting for me to speak." These were words of Swami, who had never delivered a divine discourse the entire year because physical health did not permit. But like a candle that burns away to provide light, Swami was here saying, my students, my children are waiting. I can't disappoint them. I have to go and speak to them. And then the devotee in Dr. Manmohan Singh said, "Swami, I would also like to listen to you speak." Then Swami said, "Then come sit next to me." He said, "Yes, Swami." And so, breaking all the protocol, in his silence, through his actions, the Prime Minister spoke very loudly as he walked back to the stage and sat on the chair, folding, keeping his hands like this on the armrest. And then, before Swami began to speak, once again Swami asked the Prime Minister. He said, "I will be speaking now for quite a while. Would you like to leave or stay?" And the Prime Minister again said, "No, Swami, I want to stay." He didn't again speak it out. He just nodded and said, "Yeah, I want to stay." And Swami spoke that day, dear brothers and sisters, for almost more than an hour. More than an hour. And for more than an hour, at the edge of his seat, the Prime Minister sat and listened as Swami spoke about the scriptures, about the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, about the ideal way to lead life, about character. So many topics. It was such a mixture of a discourse. Again, in retrospect, we realize that is the last, final ever discourse that the avatar of the age granted to humanity. And the Prime Minister, the devotee Dr. Manmohan Singh, was the privileged first person to sit right beside Swami for that entire discourse. Throughout the discourse, the security kept passing chits and kept indicating to others, the secretary of the ashram and other office bearers of the Central Trust, saying, time is up, very fast, finish it soon. But they just said, "We can't do anything, Swami is speaking and we will not be able to stop or continue. Nothing we can do. We just have to witness and be there." And that was it. For the entire 1 hour, they twiddled thumbs, they were frantic, they were panicky, the airspace had been held up. But no, because there sat calm, resolute, patient and devoted Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of the country. Dear brothers and sisters, I in my heart firmly believe that Swami gave me the opportunity to observe this sterling virtue character of the devotee Dr. Manmohan Singh, so that it can be shared with the world and all of us can derive inspiration from it. And that is the reason I recorded this video and had scheduled it. But then on the 26th of December 2024, I got to know that this dedicated, determined and devoted being, Dr. Manmohan Singh, a great intellectual, a wonderful finance minister and the Prime Minister of this glorious land Bharat for 10 years, had breathed his last at the ripe old age of 92. And I just felt that this beautiful example, where we do not profess our devotion, where we do not announce our faith and conviction, but just carry out actions in accordance to that faith, is an inspiration that we all can derive from his life. Dear Swami, as this great devotee, this wonderful human being merges at your lotus feet, we pray that we too derive inspiration from his life in being eloquent, not as much in our speech as much as in our action. May we conduct ourselves and do all actions that will please you, make you happy, and may the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.